We are the homie!
What up, what up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another ranking. This one is for The Woman King, okay? And this is a ranking for that movie. Now, my ranking criteria consists of 5 things: acting, cinematography, the culture, the imagery, and Hollywood as a whole, okay? So with that being said, let's get started. Let me start with the acting. John Boyega and Viola Davis, bravo. Y'all did an excellent job acting in this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed. Viola Davis made a very powerful queen, and John Boyega made a very convincing king. I love their dialogue. I love their accents that they put on it, their African accents, and how they really sculpted that to really sound very realistic. Especially John Boyega. I think he did a good job with the accent. Viola Davis, I think she did a very good job as far as the acting part of it. I didn't necessarily see a lot of the accent in her acting, but her portrayal of that queen was phenomenal. It was all that. I think they, like I said, I think they both did an excellent job. Now, from what I understand, this role was originally sent to Lupita, but I don't think Lupita. I think she read the script and didn't want to do it after she read the script. Don't quote me on that. That's something I heard from another source, but it seemed to have touched her in a way that she just didn't want to portray that role of Viola Davis. I thought she would have been a great pick for that role, but she passed on it, and Viola Davis picked it up. And it was great acting. It would have been great if Lupita would have done it also, but the fact that Viola did it, she still knocked it out the park. So it was a great acting. And not only that, but there was a I guess you could call it the lead role played by a young lady. Her name escapes me right now, but she played the one who played the daughter. She played a pretty good role. She had these eyes about her, and you can see her soul through her eyes. I mean, through every aspect of the movie, you could really see her soul through her eyes. And she portrayed the daughter pretty well. She played a very convincing role when her best friend died. She really left it out there on the table. She really acted pretty good. So it was a very good acting role by everybody involved, especially Viola and John. Kudos to y'all, and the lead daughter. She did a great job too. So kudos to y'all on the acting. Next up is the cinematography. Now look, we're talking about Africa in the 1800s, so it's not like it's Avatar or anything, but they did portray a great set for the movie, and it did look pretty good, looked pretty convincing. Okay. I think they did a pretty good job with that. So there's not much else to say about that. Like I said, you're not going to see Avatar. You're just going to see, a movie based on, the tribes that were participating in slavery. But at the same time, I thought it was pretty good cinematography. They did give you the basics on what the tribe looked like back in the 1800s. Next up is the culture. Now, I would say this movie, in my honest opinion, is not very good for the culture. Okay. For a number of different reasons. I just think that there were 8 million stories 8 million stories in Africa, and they chose this one. Now I'm wondering why they chose this one, because it seems as though well, I just put it this way: it didn't do much for the culture as far as to push the culture forward. It's good to see Black people on the silver screen. It's good to see Black people in movies, lead roles, things like that. But I would say it wasn't a favorable light that we were put in this movie. Okay, and that's just my opinion. So like, say for instance with Black Panther, right? Black Panther was good for the culture. Why? Because it shined a positive light on everybody. Okay, the men and the women. You had a superhero as a Black man. You had a very smart and intelligent young sister, his sister. You had a queen. You had him becoming the king. You had other tribes that were involved. So that was good for the culture. So much so that people all over the world went to go see this movie, right? But this one, I don't feel was good for the culture, especially Black culture, for a number of different reasons, which I will get into later. Okay. So that being said, next up is the imagery. All right. Now, when I say the imagery on how things were looking, the imagery was not very favorable. It just wasn't. You're talking about the most, I would say, probably as masculine as of women as you could, have them look, pretty much. And then you have, a very feminine looking bunch of men, which I did not appreciate at all. Like, I don't even understand the purpose of that role. It was almost like it was slid in there unnecessarily. I'd have nothing, absolutely nothing against the LGBTQ community. I know some, love some, very close to me, but I just did not understand the context. I thought the imagery of it was trying to relay a message, and that was the men are the women and the women are the men. And I found that imagery to be very misleading at the least and disrespectful at the most. I just found it I just found the imagery to be so pretty much egregious, if I'm being honest. And another thing that I found was that the only man who had some kind of, a positive view on him was someone who was, mixed. Like, for real? They had the brother, the other brother, the black African guy. They portrayed him as another Mister in The Color Purple. Okay, having him violate Viola. Okay, and then they had the nice guy as being some mixed guy. Okay, I called him Stoney Jackson. Okay, he looked like Stoney Jackson to me. So the best you could do is make the dark men look evil, and then the closest you can get to a nice guy is a mixed guy. Now, my thing is, and let me get into Hollywood, okay, as the last category, okay, because this is a beef I have with Hollywood. Let me run down some of the issues that I had. You had a brother violate a sister, so you know that's going to be a trigger for a lot of African American women. Okay, then Hollywood, you have a mixed guy. Now, I bet you wanted a white guy, and somebody black probably said, no, he can't be fully white. So you had to make him mixed, looking like Stoney Jackson. Then he has a scene where he got all his clothes off, okay, muscles, you know, sexy flexy, and girls just, you know, going crazy over it. It's almost an insult to the sisters' mentality. Like, I don't know that they're going to even fall for this crap, but you know, movies and imagery is very important, and this is what you put out. So you put the dark-skinned brother as the evil guy figures. You put Stoney Jackson as the savior. You wanted to make him white, but you didn't. You had him as some mixed guy, okay? And you just you turn the women super masculine. You turn the men, the African men, LGBTQ, let's just say it. You had the king with seemingly having little to no power, and you had the lady having all of the power. The head of the Dahomey. Okay. Now, from what I understand from a historical, site, is the Dahomey were more or less bodyguards. They wasn't necessarily battling in huge battles, but they were participating because they were being attacked by another tribe. And from what I understand, the Dahomey was in so many battles, they were short of men. So they had to recruit the women to get into battle with them. They wasn't the first pick. It wasn't because they were the most brutal or savage or skilled or anything. It was because they had a shortage of men. So they had to recruit the women. And, by doing so, of course, there are probably, more women even back then than there are men even back in those days. So it doubled their army and their military, but they were mainly bodyguards for the king, is what the Dahomey was. But they make them out to be, Hollywood makes them out to be some kind of, just make them out to be some kind of military group, or some kind of what do they call that? They make them like some special ops or something like that, or some Navy SEALs or something like that. They make them out to be Navy SEALs, like for real. Hollywood is really upsetting me because they put this imagery out and it couldn't be more offensive, in my opinion. It couldn't be more offensive. What they're trying to do is have the lighter skinned men look like heroes, the darker skinned men look like the bad guys, the other men look to be alternative lifestyle. Okay, so if they're not super evil, then they're alternative lifestyle. The black men who are in power don't really have no power. The women get celebrated. It was well, I'm serious when I say it was kind of hard to watch, because people who have what I would call less conscious minds than mine will probably fall for this imagery and fall for these Hollywood tricks, okay, that Hollywood does. And their minds are more vulnerable to what's going on than I am. I know exactly the messages and the symbolism that they're sending through this movie. Now, I'm not one to really, this is for the sisters, so I want the sisters to shine. And let me tell you this, of all women on this planet, there's no other woman I'd want to go to war with other than a black woman, period. Have you seen the Olympics? Have you seen the track heaps? Have you seen in every agility, speed, strength, they're top, all of that, okay? However, I don't like them trying to make our women look masculine. I don't like them showing our women being disrespectful. A lot of them were disrespectful to the king. I do not like them showing our men in alternative lifestyles, which they will never do with them on screen. I don't like them making a guy who has light skin more of the hero. The symbolism in this was absolutely atrocious and ridiculous. And it took everything in me to keep watching it. But I don't want to be negative about the movie. I know it is uplifting for a lot of women, especially black women, because they love to see themselves in powerful positions. I get that, I understand that, but it should never be to the detriment of your own men. It should never be to uplift another man who has light skin and always have him be the hero. It should never be to show us in alternative lifestyles, which they would never do to their men. Another Hollywood trick I noticed is that you're not allowed to show white men with a dead face. This is not confirmed anywhere. I don't know. I think this is an unwritten rule in Hollywood because I noticed it. It's an unwritten rule in Hollywood. You're not allowed to show white men with a dead face. Black people, you can show them with a dead face. They don't care. You can show them dead. You can show them with a dead face, but you would never see a white man killed by a black person and have a dead face. Death is only implied with white people, but death is implied and confirmed with black people. You have to pay attention to the symbolism, to the subliminal messages that they send you. Watch the movie yourself if you haven't seen it. I hope you have, because this is a hell of a spoiler alert, okay? Watch the movie if you haven't seen it yourself. You will never see a white guy with a dead face. And if he's only implied to be dead, meaning if someone shoots him and he falls down, it's implied that he's dead, but you will never see his face. Black people, they show the dead face. This is why I can't stand about Hollywood. This is what I don't like. The imagery is atrocious. If you're a black person, you will be super offended by this, especially if you're conscious and you're woke like I am. Okay. This movie was made because they realized that Black people are done with slave movies. So what's the next best thing? Hollywood said, let's show people who participated in slavery. Let's show that. How about that? If we put you ladies at the forefront where you are superior over your men, would you like that? Because we'll make a movie for you if you're because we got to keep getting the message out about slavery, but we understand that y'all don't want to see no more slavery movies. So this is the next best thing. How about the Dahomey tribe? How about them? They participated in slavery. Let's show y'all in a positive light. We know y'all don't love your men, so we ain't gonna worry about how they look. We know that there's a lot of them in an alternative lifestyle, and we know the light-skinned man and the white man is the savior. This is what I can't stand about Hollywood. The imagery is atrocious. It was offensive. It's disrespectful. And I vow for our sisters not to even fall for this. I really do. Because this is the type of stuff that's continuing to keep a wedge between the men and the women. And I need you to not fall for this. Okay? Anyway, that's my review for The Woman King. And for the record, they only named it Woman King because they wanted you to go see the movie. There's no such thing as a woman king, really. There's a queen. That's the title. Okay? Even Queen Elizabeth was Queen Elizabeth. So, don't fall for the Hollywood tricks that they do. And then you had the Black man saying, "You're woman king." A Black man in Africa in those times would never say those words. He just won't. Africa is a patriarchal society. Yes, the women can do this, that, and the third, and fight in armies and be bodyguards and things like that. But a man would never place the woman as the king. He just won't. This is Hollywood. I need y'all to not fall for the shenanigans. I really need y'all to not fall for it. Yeah, it's a feel good. It make you feel good, maybe temporarily, but you got to see the Hollywood tricks that's going on. Anyway, I give this movie 2 stars out of 5 because I thought the acting was good. I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars out of 5. I thought the acting was good, and the fact that it was an all-Black cast. So the acting was good, get a star, and all-Black cast, get a 1/2 a star. But the rest of it, there are 8 million stories in Africa, and they chose that one. Think about it, okay? Think about it, and why they chose that one. I'm waiting on the Mansa Musa movie. From what I understand, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan is planning on doing a Mansa Musa movie. I can't wait for that one to come out. All that being said, let me know what you think. If you've seen the movie, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm off, let me know. In the meantime, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, okay? For more great content. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.